Hey there folks, Tim Slade here from the eLearning Designers Academy. If you're somebody who's been working to build your instructional design or e-learning development portfolio, then you know how much of a personal experience that is. You know what I mean? Building a portfolio should be something that is uniquely personal to you. It's your opportunity to share your story and put whatever it is that you want to put on it, right? And I think the biggest mistake that a lot of people make with their portfolios is when they try too hard to mimic what other people are doing. And then in that process, it's almost like they lose themselves in it, right? Or they try to contrive themselves as something that they aren't, right? And you see this a lot with transitioning teachers. Transitioning teachers are constantly being bombarded with noise that tells them like, oh, you should hide your teaching experience, or you shouldn't, you kind of want to minimize that. And I totally disagree with that, right? I think you should honor your experience as being a learning professional and having been previously a teacher and how that plays into your journey into instructional design and e-learning development. And so today, I want to show you a really great example of that from one of my past students inside my cohort program, Crystal Barone. I recently featured her on our YouTube channel when we did a review of her project, setting boundaries in the library, right? She went through my program, she built that project, and then afterwards we worked together to help her refine her portfolio. So here I am on my computer here at crystalbarone.com, and here's her portfolio that she's put together to showcase her skills and obviously her sample of work and tell a little bit about herself. Now, as we look at her portfolio, the thing right off the bat that I'm always looking for in a portfolio is I want to see somebody's name, I want to know exactly what it is that they do, and I want to put a face to the name. Now, that last one is a little bit controversial. Some people don't think you should have or you shouldn't require a photo on your portfolio. And it's not necessarily that I think it's required. It's just nice to be able to connect with somebody visually by putting a face to the name, right? Just like on LinkedIn, it's not really a good idea to have a blank profile or a faceless profile because sometimes it looks like a bot. I feel the same way about portfolios. You want to have a face to the name so that people can connect with you on a personal level, right? So right off the bat, Crystal Barone, front and center, that's super clear. Instructional designer, e-learning developer, and as we scroll down here, we have a great, totally personable photo here. It doesn't look like it's a photo from an employee badge or one where Crystal's been held hostage. It's a normal photo of her, doing stuff outside or what have you, right? And what does Crystal do? Well, she applies best practices, theories, and research-based models to elevate meaningful change. I love that. And we have a call to action to learn more about me. And of course, as we scroll down here, then we get into what is it that Crystal does, right? She's blending my experience in instructional design and education by crafting engaging scenario-based learning experiences built on real-world interactions, meaningful feedback, problem-centered design. And obviously, as we'll see in her portfolio, and as you can see with her showcase project on boundaries in the library, that's exactly what she does, right? So when you think of that, the home page of a portfolio, I think too, the other thing people do is they overcomplicate it. They try to get everything out there. And really your home page is really just kind of like a series of appetizers for what you're going to get in the rest of the portfolio, right? So we have the introduction with a call to action to learn more about her. And then down here, we have a little bit more about what is it Crystal specializes in with a call to action to explore her work, right? So let's go to the About Me page. And this is another really great example. We have another great personal photo of Crystal, continuing some of the simple content here dedicated to creating learning solutions that elevate performance and boosts engagement. Nice little highlighted parts here, call to action to go explore her work. But more importantly, what I really, really appreciate that Crystal did here is she didn't try to hide her teaching experience, right? She starts right off the bat. My background as a teacher shaped how I approach instructional design. She is using her background in education as her strength rather than something to be hidden or to be deleted from her history, right? I give this advice all the time to teachers because I think a lot of times teachers feel like when you're making the leap out of teaching and you're going into instructional design, it's almost like this whole other career that you had is dying and you have to like let it go. And when in reality, like moving into instructional design is just an evolution of your education career. It's just the evolution of your career. You should be honoring that. I honor that I used to catch shoplifters all the time. If I can honor that I used to catch shoplifters, and now I work in instructional design, then Crystal and anyone else out there can honor the fact that you were a teacher, right? So she talks about herself. She goes right off the bat, her background, and then she talks about how she likes to blend creativity, problem solving, commitment to lifelong learning and everything that I do. She talks about in the classroom, she saw firsthand how learners thrive when training is engaging, practical, and tailored to real world challenges. I love that line. That experience drives me to design learning that goes beyond information delivery, helping learners practice, reflect, and build confidence in meaningful ways, right? What I like about this summary is that she's illustrating her understanding of instructional design in terms of talking about, I don't just create information dumps, I'm about creating meaningful, performance-based learning experiences, right, that are meaningful. Specializing in scenario-based learning, I combine relatable characters, realistic challenges that draw learners in from the start. When training feels relevant, engagement increases. Storytelling is a key element in my instructional design, creating immersive experiences that foster connection and drive meaningful change. Now, what's really powerful about that second paragraph is that is quite literally exactly what we see in her portfolio samples, especially that one on boundaries in the library. This is exactly what you're going to see in her portfolio. And I think that's super important, that when you put something like this on LinkedIn or on your resume or on your About Me page and your website and your portfolio, it should speak to exactly the type of experiences that you have as samples of work on your portfolio. And then down here, she has a little bit of about me, about her education, her tent camping, 3 nights max, some humor in there, all of that stuff, and then a contact me, right? So simple About Me page, not a whole lot there going on beyond that. Now let's go to her projects page. Now, first off, what I like right off the bat with her projects page is she doesn't have just one page for everything. She's created a dedicated portfolio page, featured projects, and then these link off to individual pages for each one, right? So we have boundaries in the library. This course helps public library staff develop the confidence to set professional boundaries with patrons while maintaining excellent customer service. And then she has supporting customers. This was from one of our recent e-learning challenges inside our community. Check those out. That's a great way to build samples of work, put your skills into practice, and enter to win an Amazon gift card. But for now, we'll take a look at this setting boundaries in the library. Now, this is probably the most critical part of a portfolio because this is the thing that hiring managers are looking for, right? They're looking for the samples of work. And when they look at the samples of work, they're looking for information about why you designed your project the way that you did, right? It's not always about just the completed sample of work. It's about all of the stuff that went into creating that sample of work, right? Now, obviously, you can all spend some time looking at Crystal's project or her portfolio and reading through this in detail, but right off the bat, what I really like that Crystal did is she has a summary up here. So we have our little mock-up image. I can see the project. We have a summary of a high-level overview of what the project was about. It's a scenario-based approach, creating relatable scenarios, professionalism, confidence. So we get some keywords to make that scannable. And then right off the bat, we can explore the full course. Again, one of the mistakes that I think people do is they don't include an image of the project. I want to see the project. And then I want to see right off the bat how I can go explore the project, right? If a hiring manager doesn't read anything else, at the very minimum, I want them to be able to actually open up the completed course and click through it, right? Welcome to this course. And we have that here. Now, if we continue down here, what I like that Crystal did is she did a good job organizing the content of this portfolio piece. So right off the bat, she have goals, process, authoring tools, right? So if we click to expand this, she has some information about her goals to design a simple yet effective course with a strong hook to engage learners, tap into their past experiences, and provide opportunities for knowledge transfer, demonstration, and application. She is speaking right off the bat to Merrill's principles of instruction, right? We're going to tap into the learner's existing knowledge. We're going to do some demonstration. We're going to do some application. And that's how we're going to engage learners. Training goal: to build confidence in library staff by presenting real-life, problem-centered scenarios that teach effective communication, boundary-setting strategies, ensuring these skills can be immediately applied on the job, right? That's what we want, right? When we create an e-learning course or we create adult learning, we want to provide practical stuff that people can then turn around and do on the job immediately. And she's speaking to that here. Then we move on to what was her process, right? This is where she goes through what she did. She did her needs analysis. She designed the scenarios. She created a mentor character. We have the interactive elements. We have the tone and accessibility. She's speaking to the justifications behind why she designed it the way she did. This is important because as a hiring manager, I want to know that there was intentionality behind why you did things the way that you did it. And I think she's done a great job here. And then, of course, we have some technical stuff, like what tools did she use, right? This is more so about hitting keywords, things like articulate storylines, the PowerPoint, Canva, Miro, AI audio for sound effects, voiceovers. Nothing too complicated there. And then down here, what I really appreciate is that she shows some artifacts, right? We have our action map here with some details about it. We can click here to open up that action map and take a look at it directly here in Miro, which is fantastic. So we can examine that. We have the storyboard here. I could click and open that. And of course, we have a job aid where she created that as part of the course as well. And we have some details about that. And then down here, we have some additional details where, she mentions Merrill's principles of instruction. We have some social proof from yours truly, talking about what a great project this was. She also linked to the video that I did, the project review on this. So it's a really, really great example of, how a portfolio doesn't have to be complicated, right? We have a simple homepage, simple design, simple content, a simple About Me page that tells her story in an honest, truthful, meaningful, vulnerable, authentic way, right? It's truly Crystal. It's not like she just wrote this with AI or she wrote something that really doesn't resemble who she is. And then when we get into her projects, really straightforward here, giving a really great explanation of what she did, why she did it, and then a chance to explore the full course, right? So I encourage you, come out, check out Crystal's portfolio, crystalbarone.com. I'll link to it down in the description. But it's a really great example of a simple, effective, clean, elegant portfolio to showcase her skills and her personality and her experience. So wonderful work on that, Crystal. I encourage you all to check that out. All right. That's it for today, for today's e-learning instructional design portfolio review. Let me know your thoughts about Crystal's portfolio down in the comments. Keep it kind, if you will. I would appreciate it. Otherwise, I want to thank you so much for watching. If you haven't done so already, please make sure to hit that like, subscribe, and bell button to get alerted the next time I publish a video just like this one. And of course, join us inside the eLearning Designers Academy and our free community at elearningacademy.io, where we help new instructional designers and e-learning developers like Crystal grow their careers by focusing on skills first. Otherwise, my name is Tim Slade, and until next time, I'll see you around.